Hello there. Welcome to another Saturday morning nerd out. I hope everyone's caffeinated, has the cereal, and still in their pajamas. No, I see some no's in the background here. But nonetheless, I am Graveyard. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm going to bring everyone in one by one. So, first and foremost, I'd like to introduce the husband, the man with all the voices, the one and only Force. How's it going, sir?
Top of the morning to ye.
Yes. You excited?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Man, oh man, we've had some freaking crazy things happen in Nerd Kingdom this week. Some of them catastrophic, and some of them have just been dreams that came true. So I am hella excited to talk about it.
Yes. Oh, there's already potatoes in the chat. All right. Okay, so for no further, the fray with all the theories, the one, the only, Fray Girl.
It's me. Hello.
Hello.
Me
And you have
and
a
my
new
beige
background.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So husband works on Saturdays, so he's in the desk room, and he's in the nerd room. That's where he works, and so I'm in the bedroom. And it's not after dark, so I don't want to hear anything about the Jen in the bedroom. No,
I was just about to do my mezzo bedroom voice too. It's like, oh my, she's in the bedroom
technically
now.
this is my bedroom voice because I'm in the bedroom and I'm vocalizing right now. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if that was my bedroom voice? Hello, I am in the bedroom right now.
News from the front.
Right.
All right. And last, she disappeared. Where'd she go?
No, she was getting coffee.
She's getting coffee.
Still manages to make Wonder Woman appear. I love it.
Wonder Woman's like got on my shirt. Can't really tell. Wonder Woman has decimated Harley Quinn on my shirt. So, and that's a place in LA. I can't remember what it is. My husband told me this morning he got the shirt for me. So I don't know. It's not something night. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll put it in the thing later. But.
So how you
my wincing in pain? I've got sciatica that's killing me.
How? So you excited, Frey? I know we're introducing a new segment today just for you.
I feel so special. No, I'm nervous because it's the first script I've written in a while, and it's a really short script, so nobody have any expectations or anything. And it's probably it's like a 12% chance it's going to come true, but it's going to be entertaining.
I've set the bar unbelievably high, just letting you know.
Yes. All right.
Of course, you have fours. You're my biggest fan, so thank you very much.
All right. Well, let's bring in our last host for today. The only person I'd stand on my desk for, the captain. Oh, my captain, the one and only Aubrey.
Hello, Captain.
Hello.
Hey, Mrs. Force.
Addies.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I am extremely tired today. I had to, after I got off, last night with you lovely people. I got a call at like 12:31 a.m. from my friend who broke up with her fiance. So I drove an hour to go get her and got back.
Aww.
And yeah, we didn't really get to sleep till like around 4 or 5, and then she couldn't sleep, so I ended up waking up over and over. So it's been a fun night. So if it looks like I'm tired, yes, that's because I am. So I'm gonna go grab some coffee while I listen to all you lovely people for my segment. So
Awesome.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you in a bit.
See you in just a minute, but
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But hi guys, hello everyone. By the way, I've got my Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild shirt on for y'all. So
nice.
Hey.
See, I wear Zelda last night. She wears Zelda today. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm just representing, our hopefully sister channel one time, the deep dive.
Deep dive. Oh, You have the investigation, the what do they call him? The Vostonaut.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
Eric Voss, and they call
Oh,
him.
Eric Voss for the new rock
so,
stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's doing the deep dive. He does deep dives into
Okay.
like everything. His Back to the Future one was so good. I mean, I loved all of them. The Everything Everywhere All at Once, that one was really good too. But that Back to the Future one was next level. And so yeah, I love his investigation. So
all right, who's ready to kick us off today? All right. Oh, yes. So
I'll be back in time for Horror Corner. So.
All right, sounds good. So the very first thing we're discussing today is SHAZAM 2 box office bombs.
Well, I don't know if it's box office. So this one is it's unique. If it were Marvel or I don't like a Star Wars property or something that has been established and hasn't gone through a huge restructuring recently, then I would say, well, it's not, then yeah, that's a definite bomb. This is that weird no man's land, which is appropriate since Wonder Woman had the no man's land as well in the movie. But that, I mean, there are people that are like, well, no, I'm not going to watch any of this because they're just going to reboot it. Why should I watch it? And then you've got the people that are like, well, I'm scared to still go to the theater because of all of the, first the shootings and you never know. And also, COVID, people that are still, that are turtling up because of COVID and stuff. They don't want to get sick. So there's a lot of factors in this. I hear it's a great movie. Everybody that has seen it has said it's amazing. I have yet to see it just because finance wise, but I hear it's me. I loved the first one, so I definitely know I'm going to love this one. So I just feel bad that it's not making the money that it should be making right now.
Well, I feel like it's kind of like what we discussed last week is that the stuff doesn't matter with the reset. So
yeah. Oh, I think the majority of people, I think that's what it is. They're just like, no, I'm not going to watch this. And I think the only reason why people will go see The Flash is because James Gunn has already said, well, no, it's going to be like a soft reboot, so you're going to need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Keaton. Oh yeah, Keaton. I'm absolutely going for Keaton because Keaton's
hey, Danny.
away. Hi, Danny. So yeah.
All right. Well, so are you gonna go see it, or are you gonna wait for it to come out on HBO Max?
I don't know. We might go see it. It just depends. There are a couple movies that the husband wants to see, like John Wick, and to be honest with you, I'm probably gonna go see that first because it's freaking John Wick. I need to know if that dog survives. The new dog, not the one that died in the first one, but the new one. And yeah, and Lance Reddick's in it. The trigger puppy. But yeah, I think that I think we'll probably go see that first. And it's Keanu. You gotta see Keanu. I mean, that's
all right.
I can't be American and not see a Canadian actor in the theater. Come on.
Right. Well, Mr. Force.
Yes.
What's your take? I know you guys, I'm talking to, the biggest DC people I know right here, which I'm not one. So what's your take, and how do you feel about SHAZAM 2 and all that stuff with the soft reboot coming?
So to Jen's credit here, yes, I think many people are kind of mixed into this why should I bother attitude. Like, oh, Gunn's gonna reboot it, so I'm going to stop watching the CW shows, and I'm going to stop doing this, and I'm going to stop doing that, and because none of these stories even matter anymore. Well, that's kind of a dumb, closed-minded way to think, because just because DC had the New 52, it doesn't mean you should stop reading the 90 some odd years that came before it. Right. They're still stories, and they're still really, really good. I pulled up some info here, And it turns out Zachary Levi made a statement, and he says that the reason why the movie hasn't done well is because of poor advertisement. I have to agree with him. I get bombarded with ads, especially movie ads, in everywhere I go, be it Facebook, Insta, YouTube. I can count the amount of Shazam trailers I've seen on two hands in all of this time. Shazam has not been pushed in my face. I have not been reminded to go see the movie. I'm bombarded by so much other crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't believe that it has had adequate advertisement. The other factors that kind of weigh in on this is the timing of the release of the movie. You've got Shazam going up against John Wick, and you've got him going up against Creed 3.
Yeah.
Spectacular titles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people are not going to go see, your average person is not going to go see 3 movies in a weekend. You know what I mean? Plus, you know, we're kind of starting to lose the theater experience because, again, either people are folks is broke, or they're not. They don't, depending upon the state you're in, they don't want to risk coronavirus. And you know, I think HBO Max and Netflix and Vudu have a lot to do with the unpredictability of their content. We don't know when something's going to get released to a platform because it's up and down. It's all over the place. Example, when Dragon Ball's Superhero came out in the theaters, everybody was expecting that to jump straight to Funimation channel. But it's still not there. And now it's out on Blu-ray, and it's been 6 months. On the other hand, when Smile got out of the theater, it was on HBO Max within 4 days, guys. 4 days. That's unpredictable variables. So we don't know. Do we think that Shazam is like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait for it to be on HBO Max? You're kind of rolling the dice there because it may not go to HBO Max in 6 days. You might be waiting 6 months, or people will be like, well, you know, if we let the movie bomb, it'll come to HBO Max quickly. Who knows? All I know is that I love Shazam. I love the first movie. I've got super high hopes on this one. And to be perfectly honest, I don't care what critics have to say. If I enjoy a movie, I enjoy a movie, and I'm definitely going to be watching this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I like what you were saying, Force, about how it's so inconsistent when things come onto platforms. I do think that has something to do with like the rights. I think different movies have different, like, you know, in the contract, it usually says, I know Disney Plus is doing really well about trying to get, after the movie has been out for the extended time that it's supposed to be out, it's usually about a month. And they say, hey, it's going to be in here in a month, you know? So I think Disney's the most consistent with it. But yeah, you're right. All the other platforms, it's like, it is a crapshoot. You don't know when it's going to be out, when you're going to get to see it.
I would like to make a suggestion in terms of ownership and showing rights. Disney bought Marvel. Disney bought Star Wars. So they are ultimately in control of when their content hits, and they make it semi-predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the longest time, DC, Warner Brothers, Sony, like all these different companies that kind of mess around with each other, now HBO Max, I almost feel like we need either a Warner Plus or a DC Plus.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of how I'm feeling about this thing, because Warner Brothers is a phenomenal company. I believe Warner Brothers just brings better content than Disney ever has. And most of the best stuff, including adult content, including content that's age 13 plus, comes from Warner Brothers. It just does. Or they've got their names on it. So I think we need like a Warner Plus.
I mean, I definitely think that DC is much better with the animation. I watched what was that the Batman Shadow of the Dragon. Have you guys seen that? You know
No.
the fun, like the thing that stands out the most is, why is Batman in this movie? Because everybody else, it's like Richard Dragon, Bronze Tiger, it's like Lady Shiva, Cheshire's in it. It's like all these amazing martial art heroes and villains in it. And then there's Batman. So it's like they're all just like in like these outfits. And then Batman's in his Batman costume. And you're like, one of these things is not like the other kind of thing. But I mean, it's really good. And it's 70s style. And it's like that kung fu action movie, like Bruce Lee kind of kung fu movie. It was really good. I loved it. But that was the thing.
Do you think that
my husband and I were saying is that the thing that sticks out is that Batman's in it.
So do you think that should that like a parent company should be in control and be able to put something like that out? Same case with Shazam here. Do you think there should be a parent company that has control of Shazam and Batman and all these properties and be able to let people know, okay, in the theater for a month and then coming straight to HBO Max?
Yeah.
You know?
I do. I like the whole Warner Plus, or, you know, whatever they're going to name this app, you know, Zaslav's, you know,
Max. Yeah.
Zone of happiness. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, whatever they're going to do, that's.
I'm sorry, I just got a bad idea. It's funny.
Okay.
James Gunn should have his own streaming service and he should call it Gunfire.
There you go.
Just say
Gunfire. What?
I'm trademarking that, Gun. Don't you dare.
Do it.
Do it.
You heard it here first, people. No, I love it. I think that would be great. I was just saying that I really believe that, you know, if Marvel's been kind of got to keep up with Marvel on the comic book stuff, like as far as live action goes, but animation wise, I think it's DC all the way. I mean, that we watched that, and we watched another one. I can't remember what it was. I don't know why. It was really good. Oh, it was the Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. And it was just amazing. And I just kept thinking, why can't they do this in live action? Do that 2-part movie, live action. It's not that hard. The villains aren't that big of a deal. I mean, you see Solomon Grundy. He is the most CGI that you would need. It is practically a practical movie. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that? And I just really think that they went, oh, this is cartoons. Just let them do whatever they want. And then they produced amazing shit. And then you got Marvel that's like, oh, you're going to do an animation? We're going to do it in live action. Your move, DC. And I mean, I am not a DC versus Marvel, you know, comic book companies have to be, you know, rivals kind of thing. I'm really not. But it really does seem like they're having a hold my beer contest at this point. So,
all right. Well, to that note, speaking of Marvel.
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 It's like Marvel, like when you go to Target.
Target, yes.
Or Targetto.
So, secret. I'll just, my whole thought on DC is I don't have enough time to go see all these movies. I have enough horror movies to watch as top of this. So, all right.
So what you're saying is, if DC did a horror movie, you'd totally go watch it.
If they have enough to do a podcast episode, yes.
Okay.
They have to have more than one. All right. So I know this is the topic of Phrase Fortunes, the Nerd Out segment, but Secret Invasion, I want to know quick thoughts, how excited you guys are. Like I said, we don't want to dive into this very long, short topic here, 5 minutes. What your thoughts are on it and what you hope to see. And then we'll discuss more in Phrase Fortunes. Forrest, why don't you go ahead and lead us off, you know, what your thoughts are.
I need to make a statement, and then I have to ask a question in my true Forrest style. Number one, the statement is this. I've not read Secret Invasion in the comics, so I'm not educated on it, which sucks. So I need to freaking go buy the comics and read it. Number two, is the Secret Invasion going to be the next Infinity Stone saga. It's not having nothing to do with the Infinity Stones. I'm saying we had like a dozen movies having to do with the Infinity Stones that led up to Thanos. So is Secret Invasion going to be this next type of deal where we're going to have a set of movies that reveal all of the Secret Invasion stuff, and then it's going to lead up to the final battle against Kang and whoever else they're going to surprise us with? That's my question.
I believe that, so we've already started seeing it because this is about the Skrulls. Secret Invasion is about how the Skrulls infiltrated Earth. And basically they have sleeper agents that when the Skrulls give them the command, kind of like Palpatine doing the Order 66 thing, it kind of gives them something. And then they activate, and some of them are heroes. Some of them are the best friends of heroes. Some of them are politicians. They're like really embedded in, especially in American society. I think they did have some stuff over there. It's been a while since I've read Secret Invasion, so forgive me for this. But it's about the Skrulls. The Skrulls are trying to take over our society so that they can have the planet.
Yes.
And that's really what it is. So we have seen that. We saw Skrulls in Captain Marvel, all the way back in Captain Marvel. So they have been laying the like little bits of it. WandaVision, the end credit, post credit or mid credit, I think there were two, I think, but I haven't watched it, so I haven't watched it in a bit. But there was one where a Skrull and they talked to Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
And they were like, "Hey, you got to go up here." And so they started showing Skrulls, and hey, anybody can be a Skrull. And I think this is the culmination of that. So it started in Captain Marvel, and then is ending in Secret Invasion, or well, it's going to its next phase in Secret Invasion, I guess I should say. So it's kind of like it's more of a crossover event and less of a huge. I mean, it was in the comics, but everything's huge in the comics. But like it's a more of a minor crossover where like, hey, guess what? Not only do you not know who you're supposed to trust from, Earth beings, but now we're gonna throw these Skrulls in here and maybe sprinkle a little Kree here and there, and and then you're dead. So
yes,
bake it 350 for 25 minutes. Ding.
Yes. All right. So my take on Secret Invasion, I've put this theory and ideas in chats on other channels that I don't want to, we don't have to specifically name, but Frey knows the channel. It's my idea was, and we had the discussion is, could a Skrull impersonate Tony Stark? Yes, because, well, he's human, right? Could they impersonate a wizard? I don't see why not. If all it takes is time and training, you don't have to be a super Skrull to have those powers, because anyone can do it. And we see non-humans able to perform sorcery. So I think they'd be able to do it. My concern with Secret Invasion is, hold on, I'll get to you first. My concern with Secret Invasion is we're not going to get big name heroes as Skrulls. We're going to get side characters that we forgot about in other stuff. And maybe we'll get super Skrulls. Maybe heroes will come back. Maybe Secret Invasion is going to lead up to Skrulls changing in Battle World and switching sides. We could see all that. Like I said, I don't want to dive too much. I don't know what Frey's theory is.
So do you think that RDJ is going to come back just to play Tony Stark, be like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and then he's going to be like, and then he's going to turn into a Skrull?
That would be freaking awesome, wouldn't it? I don't think he's going to. But,
I think he'll come back, and I think Happy will be a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Forz, you had your hand up.
Yes, you mentioned that they can't. So you mentioned that they can't like mimic the wizardry stuff.
Oh, they can. There's no reason why they couldn't.
That's why. Okay, that was going to be my next question. Yeah. Can they mimic mutants?
Super Skrulls can't. They have to have an ability. They can shapeshift like Mystique, but they can't get the powers.
Morph.
Yes. Yeah. So they can only look like them, but they don't get the powers unless they're a Super Skrull.
Yeah, it's the super scroll. It's that super thing that you have to have in order to be a hero
And does
or
that
villain.
and does that include the accidental heroes like Spider-Man?
I think my thought process is yes. If it could happen to a normal person, it could happen to a scroll.
Yeah, and
Okay.
but the whole mimicking it, they would have to already be a super scroll to be able to mimic it. That was why I think at some point, like, you find out, look, this series has been out for a while, guys, and so I don't feel like we need to put the spoiler banner up for this. Fours, if you want to read it blind. That sounds weird. Read it blind.
I
If
mean,
you want to read it,
there we go.
Okay,
I'll listen. Go ahead.
Okay. One of the big reveals is that Captain America was a Skrull. A Skrull had they had he had died. He died in Secret Invasion, and then nobody knew about it. So a Skrull took his place and did everything he did, and nobody knew until the end, and it was like a huge deal. So
Are you talking about Sam or are you talking about Steve?
Steve. This was Steve.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was crazy. So yeah, super Skrulls, if they're super, they can mimic the powers of whoever they're doing. If they're just Skrulls, then they could be Daredevil, I guess. I mean, I don't know. He's got some good senses.
I think they could be Captain America. I think they get the super soldier serum.
So
yeah, I mean, if they had the super, but then
enhanced individuals are possible, I believe.
So then when Sam says to Cap, do you want to talk about it? And Cap goes, no, I don't think I do. That could be like a red flag.
Yeah.
Right. Or it could be Sam Wilson. You know, they could kidnap Sam Wilson and Sam Wilson, because he doesn't have the super soldier serum, and he is Captain America now. So I mean, you know, that's it. Johnny Mayonnaise, they could do Johnny Mayonnaise.
That'd be too easy though.
Yelena Belova. Yeah, I mean, they could be a lot of people.
They could.
You know, freaking Hawkeye. They could be Hawkeye. That would explain a lot. And also, if Jeremy, you know, because Jeremy Renner is recovering, they could make him a Skrull for a little bit and then find him and then bring him back once he's completely recovered. I mean, so
there's a lot they can do with that. That's a good point.
What's your 2 cents on this, Captain?
I do not negotiate with terrorists.
That was amazing.
I will hold steadfast to the American way. No. So I don't know that much about Secret Invasion, to be honest. As we saw, I got my nerd card taken away yesterday with the
I'll give it back to you.
With Batman.
Okay.
Frey has to punch it,
I'm getting
I was
two
like,
freaking wrong answers.
I'll give it back.
Fine. Hey, Star Trek lore. I got Star Trek lore at least. But no. The whole thing with the Secret Invasion, I think actually would be a brilliant idea if they did get like Jeremy Renner to be a Skrull. I think that would be really interesting. And Yelena, no one really cares about Yelena, unfortunately. I don't think that has enough of an impact. That it would have to be, they're going to do it. They need to do it with someone that has impact. So somebody like Spider-Man, for instance, or Captain America would have to, or even if you got RDJ to come back to be a Skrull, I mean, it'd have to be someone where it would feel like a sucker punch.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's harder to do with Iron Man, because Iron Man is, he already died once, so it'd be harder to convince them to bring him back.
Yeah.
And just be like, people would be already sus. They'd be like, wait a second, why is Tony Stark back?
Right. Or ScarJo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly. So, or Black Widow, like, why is she back?
Yeah.
So, I don't know that much about it. I was reading a comic thing about people who dated, and I guess like there is a half Skrull that is around in the comics that it's not She-Hulk who dates him.
Is it Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman?
I
Yeah, she's a
remember.
scroll.
Yeah, she's a scroll.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Anyway, so that's like my whole thing, and I don't know. I haven't. Unfortunately, I do not have Disney Plus, so I can't really delve into a lot of the stuff.
Mhm.
I spent my money on Paramount Plus. Also, I just want to say, like with the gunfire, I think that's hilarious. Also, one of the best DC cartoons of all time, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. You can't go wrong with it.
Love
theaters.
that. Love Batwoman.
It's a
again,
classic.
but yeah.
I've watched that movie so many times. I think I have it memorized
Yay.
from front to
We'll
back.
act it out
So,
later.
oh yes. Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of men in suits,
Yes. Wait, you're talking about the Men in Black? Oh gosh, are we going to talk about the men? Oh, put me away. I haven't seen it yet.
just go on.
I'm gonna go get my helmet on so I can like not, so I can. This is the way I gotta.
All right.
I
Do you
can't.
want to? You can. You want me to remove you and you can not listen for a second?
Yeah, I'm gonna not listen for a second. Sorry, guys.
All right. Just put it in the chat when you're ready. We'll tell you when we're done.
Thank you.
All right. So, Mandalorian. I get you guys before Tuesday, so haha. Take that, distance 13. I just want to get, you guys obviously have theories, Easter eggs, stuff like that on Tuesdays. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on this episode from this past week. Frey, why don't you go ahead and start us off? Not me.
I'm not going to rant as much, I promise. I'm leaving my ranting to a minimum today. All right. I am totally sus the armorer now. I think there's something going on. I think this armorer wants the whole kit and caboodle. I think she wants to be the real leader of the Mandalorian people. And so, yeah, because I'm like, everybody's real excited about Bo and Bo's, Bo-Katan is leading them, like really taking charge. And then suddenly she's like, oh no, take off your helmet. And she's like, but I thought we were supposed to. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell? So I think something's going on there. And then did y'all catch the pause Vizsla looking at Den like, oh, should I believe this? Should I take the armor or do we need to rumble? I mean, he was ready.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, let's go. And Den was just like, no, you're good. So I definitely think something's going on with the armorer.
Do you think we'll get this resolved by the end of the season?
I think we're going to start seeing it. I think we're going to start seeing more of it.
Because we have 3 episodes left?
Yeah, I think so. I think probably the end of the season will be them after they get a majority of the Mandalorians or enough of them back to take we'll see them start taking over Mandalore. So this may be like the end of next season. But I do think we're going to start seeing some more, if there's more suspicious behavior. That's all I'm going to say, because there's her having, Shiva was so pissed that Din Djarin took off his fucking helmet to see his goddamn son. This is the first time he did it. And, I'm just like, what the hell? And then she's like, remove your helmet. And I was like, what? So, yeah. I said I was going to keep my ranting to a minimum.
All right. Mr. Force.
If there were ever suckers in the universe, I am one of them. I'll tell you why. Because everything she just said did not even register. I didn't think any of it. It went completely over my head. This was hands down the very best episode of Mando we have seen to date. And as somebody who is a sold-out Jedi, who's all about the Skywalkers, named my freaking kids Luke and Leia, this is very uncharacteristic of me. But damn it, I am so over lightsabers right now, and I'm so over the Force, and I'm so over Skywalker drama. And I am completely sold out to this Manda dash lore. And it's phenomenal. Everything I've foretold is happening. It's happening It's coming true. I said at the end of season 2, I said, give the kid back. Do not let Luke keep this kid. They gave the kid back.
Yeah.
I said, send them back to Mandalore. They sent them back to Mandalore. I said, there's going to be life on that planet. There was life on that planet. And then,
Preach it, brother Full.
and then, oh shit. Then I said, we have Boba Fett, who's way over here. We have the Mandalorian survivors who are like right here. And then we have Bo-Katan and the rest who I call the remnants way over here post Rebels because, you know, they were weak sauce during Rebels.
Yeah.
They were weak. They were strong.
Mhm.
Now they're weak. And I said, you know, they wouldn't have these problems if they just freaking unite. And then what did they do? They gave Mando the Darksaber. And what happened when Mando got the Darksaber? Somebody got it in their head to say, you know what? We should bring all the Mandalorians together. And look what happened. They are coming together. They're doing exactly what the hell they would have done in Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
They would have said, you know what? Helmets off, be damned. People not being as big and built and just destructive as Paz, be damned. Differences, be damned. You're wearing a helmet and a jetpack. You've got combat skills. You believe in the way. Then get your ass over here and let's do this. And finally, somebody said, get your ass over here and let's do this.
Yeah.
It took the armorer to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I am not suspicious at all that she said remove your helmet. The fact that she's allowing Bo-Katan to remove her helmet and still be a Mandalorian, because now she's basically the Mandalorian ambassador. She's like
Yeah.
the lead chief ambassador. She can collect them from anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
helmet or not. This is the way. We're taking back. First of all, we have a base. Greef Karga gave them a base of operations,
Mm-hmm.
which means they've got a place they can stand their ground and build. What's the first thing that they found as soon as they made landfall? What's the first damn thing they found? The
The
forge.
Forge.
Yes.
And they're
Well,
gonna
that's
use
their
it.
church.
They're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Also, slowly, we have seen Bo-Katan go from I'm weak and useless to wait a minute, I got a new piece of armor, I got a new pauldron, and I can talk to the baby, and I'm strong again, and I've got leadership skills. It's like she's rediscovering herself, which is exactly what they did with Obi-Wan when he was dancing around with his lightsaber in the hallway during Kenobi. He was slowly rediscovering, wait a minute, I'm a damn good Jedi. Same thing with Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
She's flying around with Din Djarin, absolutely slaughtering pirates, and she's like, wait a minute, I'm a damn good Mandalorian. I'm a damn good leader. I'm a damn good pilot. Bo-Katan is not to be effed with, ever. And she's going to lead these people. I'm telling you, by the end of this, Bo-Katan will be Mandalore. And there will only be 2 people in the galaxy who have armor that will be untouchable. Hers and Mando's.
Yeah.
Mando's the only one who wears 100% full Beskar top to bottom and is hands down almost invincible.
Yeah.
It's,
I just
it's
wish you would change it.
disgusting. And to my point last week when we were talking about the beasts, they don't have basilisks right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have it. But they damn for sure have the invasion strategies for it.
Yeah.
You saw what they did. But they're going to
Mhm.
tame these beasts. They're going to take their planet back. They're going to make it into something better than the Empire ever was. And they're going to be strong again. Because this is the way.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody get the phone. Because Force effing called it.
All right. So for someone that doesn't like is sick of the Force, you sure have the foresight. The Force
The
sight.
Force
The
sight.
Force sight. The Force.
I like both of your points, but I'll pose a question. I would say the armor is a little bit sus because is she not the Mandalore right now? Does she not control everyone that listens to the way currently? If she's able to guide Jin, and Bo, they look to her for guidance, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So, are we seeing?
She's the motherfucking Pope.
So, here's. I mean, the episode was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Poor Space Swamp Thing. I felt sorry for him. And I think we had a prediction that they were going to be the big bad of the Skeleton Crew. Well, not him.
No.
Like we
Not
thought.
unless,
that was,
not unless they,
right.
hydrate him again, because he got real dehydrated.
Yes. So there's something going on with the armorer to the point where she is able to say to break the rules, and it's okay because yes, she's essentially the Mandalorian priestess, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is the clergy. She is the Pope. She, the spiritual side of Mandalore, right? But she still has, no matter who's in charge, she's still gonna have more power over them. I feel they're still gonna, because she's gonna be their guidance, their ear, their right hand man of the king, if you will, right? That you have someone that you listen to, and who has more power, the king or the person telling the king what to do.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly where I was going with that. Exactly. Is that I think she's gonna be the Pope. She's gonna be, Bo-Katan, Holy Roman Emperor. Who do they go to? The Pope. They go to the Pope. The Pope controls them. So it's like, I totally see it. I still think Din and Bo-Katan are going to go some sort of union if they're that invested, and the armorer says, no, we're bringing everybody together. Din is the Children of the Watch. Bo is the newer way. We're bringing it together. I still think that's going to happen.
All right. So that's 4 is your final thought here before we got to move on.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Let's put religion aside for a moment, please, because since the very beginning, people have been referring to the armor as a cult leader. Let's get outside of the box for a minute.
Okay.
Let's put religion aside. Let's revisit tribalism. The armorer, number one, is a record keeper. It's like Luke having the ancient texts. The armorer is the record keeper for the Mandalorians. Number two, and this is a word that, please put this in your head and remember it. As much as you don't want her to be this cult leader, and it's hard to get people to not think about that because people kind of crap on religion and everything. Think of her as the matriarch. She is very, very much the matriarch and the loving mother of the ways that have always, always worked. She has, in 2 instances thus far, shown Bo-Katan that the ways do work. She shocked Bo-Katan by saying, you saw the living waters. And she's like, well, yeah. Did you remove your helmet? Well, no. Well, guess what? You're a Mandalorian again. That caught Bo-Katan by surprise. Yeah. She's like, Bo-Katan didn't respond with, I don't want to be one of you. She responded with, wait, what? Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. And she did. And she got reinvested. It's like, well, instead of like, welcome back to the fold, my brethren, it's welcome back to the family, dear. You've been out long enough. Come home. And Bo-Katan, in essence, she came home. And when she came home, she found her strength again. So no, I don't see this like a cult thing anymore. And I don't see the armor as being sus. I'm seeing the armor as, we've been weak long enough. This is not how my family's supposed to be. I want my children to be strong, and we know how to be strong. So let's teach them how to be strong again. And Bo-Katan is going to be the one who can pass this on. I guarantee you, when we reach the end of the season, and if we see the armorer take the helmet off, she's probably going to be in her 60s or 70s. She's probably old with long gray silver hair, and she's tired and she's ready to just pass it on. She wants a Canderous Ordo, and she's good. And Bo-Katan's going to be that Canderous or Canderese. I'm done.
All right. So we can talk about this obviously all day, right? So let's go ahead and bring back our captain, so we can talk about
Right.
we can talk
Non-spoilery things.
not well.
Well,
I mean, Resident Evil 4. I guess it's still spoilery. I don't think so. I'm going no.
we all know what happens there. Leon goes and takes on Terrace.
All right. So what I want to discuss with you guys here real fast is not going too far in the game, but do you feel as we are gamers here, we are horror gamers here, fans of stuff like that. Do you feel we need remakes of all the Resident Evils? Captain, why don't you go ahead and or do you think they're perfect the way they are? And we don't
I do. I think a lot of them are perfect just the way they are. As I said, visually, I understand why they want to do remakes of them. I mean, the last game I played, which was of the Resident Evils, which was Resident Evil 2, looked gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It looked beautiful, but they skimped on the story, and I was not happy about that. I was not happy that when you play Leon or Claire, the story doesn't differ at all. Whereas in the original game, the stories were actually quite different. And they added to an entirety of a story, whereas you just go through the same, it's just reverse. And I think that was really skimping on that remake. So it wasn't a real remake to me. In the sense, it's not even updated graphics. It's just like they gave us half the game, which I did not like. I didn't see what they did for Resident Evil 3. I'm sure it looked gorgeous and beautiful.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, they really changed a lot of the graphics and the way the game was played. So, I mean, it probably still looks fantastic for a PlayStation 2 game, I'm sure. PlayStation 2 games looked fantastic back in the day. Like, I mean, they were so beautiful. So, I mean, not even back in the day. I've seen a lot of the PlayStation 2 games now, and they still look stunningly graphic. They're graphically stunning. So, I have a hard time with constituting some of these remakes. I think there are some that are definitely warranted. Like, it was really awesome to see, for instance, the graphics updated for Final Fantasy VII. That was amazing to see. I can't wait to look at Legend of Dragoon updated graphics because I'm sure it's amazing. However, when you are, I don't know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like just like, I don't know, port it for the PlayStation 5 and update the graphics.
Yeah.
That's probably all you're doing. But don't make us pay again for this game. Like, come on. If we've already bought this game years ago, like there's no need. There's no need. Just saying, guys, that's the game studio. You don't need to remake Resident Evil 5. Don't worry. It is unsufferably great just as it is.
All right, I want to hear 4's because I know he has strong opinions about the Final Fantasy VII remake, not graphically, gameplay wise. But how, you in your household, this game has been played. Do you feel it was necessary, and how do you feel about just the remakes in general?
I've seen it start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
It plays very much like the original 4. There are some additions that have been made, which I think flesh the story out a lot better, which I'm happy about. There were some gameplay. There were certain gameplay elements that added a new kind of difficulty. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a couple stars away because it made it difficult on like a really annoying level. And we're not talking annoying like, oh, this bugs me. No, it's annoying because it's just like a really stupid mechanic. I'm glad they fixed Ashley because she was hella annoying in the first rendition of this. She's so much more tolerable now.
Oh, good.
They've added to Leon, and again, this is a spoiler-free review, but they've added to Leon, like they fleshed out his martial arts, so he's not just a single kick and everything is down. I call it the Leon kick.
You mean he has it's not the roundhouse to the head?
It's now a roundhouse to the side and the head.
Good.
And a sweep, and then he does the guile suplex. So that's actually really cool.
Oh, so he
Sweep
basically
the
does Chuck Norris.
legs.
He's Chuck Norris now of
He's
the Resident Evil.
he's basically Ken and Guile now. So they've done that. They've added they gave a new voice actor to the weapon shop dealer. So and I think overall, like, the acting in the game is a lot better. And in some instances, there are some things about the old game that you kind of miss. But I will say that there are some one-liners that they did keep, regardless of how cheesy it is. So that's also a good thing. Graphically, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. I still don't know why Leon has silver hair, but he does. And
Just trying to compete with Dante.
and the difficulty is ramped up quite a bit. They're doing what they've done in the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, where they're making certain enemies just unnecessary to combat. You can run past them, you can save your bullets. In greater in other difficulty levels, like if you choose to start in hard or stupid hard or whatever, you are encouraged not to shoot a lot of things. Run around them. But again, there are points in the game, and this is the biggest one I'm going to take away from the game. There are certain points where you have timed events, and the screen is just oversaturated with enemies that spawn from idiotic points. It doesn't make much sense, and it makes it a lot less enjoyable, because at that point it's not a challenge. It's just you're scrambling. There's no strategy to it. You just need to.
Sometimes you have those moments.
You just need to be good, and that's stupid. I think that's a very Ninja Gaiden approach to it, and so that kind of took away from it. Am I personally going to play all the way through it myself? Hell no, because I'm not going to survive those points I just mentioned. But the boy went through it. I watched it all, and I mean, if I were going to rate Resident Evil 4, give it about a 7 out of 10.
There you go.
Nice.
Do I think remakes are necessary? 70%, yes, I do think so, because that other 30%, the other 30% are things that there are elements to each game that don't need to be fixed. I'm going to say this one time. Had Final Fantasy VII Remake been turn-based, it would have been a perfect game.
There you go.
Period.
Fair. I mean, if it isn't broken, don't fix it, right?
Correct. So do we need remakes? I think there are stories that do need a remake. I would love to see a PS5 fully beefed up, super upgraded Resident Evil 1.
They did that.
And Code Veronica.
They did that with Resident Evil 1.
I mean, I'll addendum that.
They made it 2, 3, and 4 style?
Yeah. It's it's if you go to your PlayStation store, it's in there. You can buy it. It's the remake. Yeah. So, Fred, do you game at all?
That's right.
I've never played this game.
Okay.
None of them.
So, all right.
Yeah. So you can pass me. Just
All right.
swipe.
I have one
right,
more
or
thing to
whatever
say
you
about
need
it.
to do.
I have one more thing to say. I do agree. There are some games out there that can benefit from an updated story or updated remake. There are some games that you're like, don't touch that game ever again, please. Just don't.
Yeah.
But there are some out there that are not fleshed out well enough, have not told enough, that haven't told a qualified story, but the gameplay is really good. Or I mean, there are ones out there that they didn't know enough, or they hadn't gone through it enough, and then they can rehash it later, and it's actually much better. It benefited from the time between the first time they released it to the updated version they released it, which is good, because then you're not being held by the we didn't know enough about this character at the time. Now we have this whole fleshed out backstory for this character. Let's actually go and do that. That I'm okay with. I'm actually okay with that. I would love to see, like, for instance, I'd actually really like to see a remake of Mario RPG. As much as that's as much as I'm a little worried about it. Oh my god! You do that whole thing. No, there's only one. There's only one.
I'd say it for him, right? So
I know there's only one. There can only be one.
Okay.
But I mean, it'd be really awesome to see all that in an updated graphic sense, where you get to see Gino in all his full glory. Would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Malo, and like you could really flesh out those. Now you can have the time to flesh out so many of those characters because we already know the story. Like I would love to see that get like a more realistic, but also like fun and updated story where you really get to understand who Gino is. You get to understand Mallow more. I mean, Mallow's pretty. You get to understand who he is. He gets a whole arc. Gino is this mysterious character you don't really know that much about. I'd love to see more of like the princess and Bowser. You really get to see him in that game. Like he gets seen, man. I love that. But like you don't really know that much about Mario. And you still don't really know that much about Peach. And it'd be nice to see more of those things. That would be cool to see that as a remake. Just as I said, just because you have time, you can flesh out a better story, which the story is still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's still, but that in that case, like I think certain ones could benefit from a remake of that. But yes, I think it's 70-30. By the way, if they ever touch Mass Effect, I will be so mad.
So,
Now that one I'm with you on.
yes.
That is a perfect game. You do not. That's a perfect game. BioWare, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
All right. So I'm gonna give my quick spiel here real fast and move on. I would rather them remake a game and me pay money again than just be a port for the same game that exists in a different system. I'd rather pay them for the graphical updates, for the more fleshed out characters, for paying new voice actors to come in and redo things. You know, we had Super Mario All-Stars on the Wii, and what it was the Super Nintendo game. And people paid money for the game that has zero change to it.
I don't think you should pay for a game that has just updated graphics. I mean, that's why I loved that when they did the Nintendo 64 and they did the booster pack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you put in a booster pack to update all the graphics in your station, and it did that for all of them, or for most of them. And like you needed it for certain games, but like I mean they wouldn't work without it. But at the same time, it's like you're updating. Like you're not repaying for games that you already bought. So if you're gonna just do that, update graphics, you should be able to do backwards compatibility with an updated graphics card in there to make those graphics better.
Yeah, I mean that was just RAM though, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Well, let's move on to our. I just want to have for anyone that has a quick prediction. Here's my question that I want to. Why don't I have it there? Hold on. There we go. Quick prediction. Here's my prediction question. Will this tie into the greater Evil Dead universe? So.
This is a movie, correct?
Evil Dead Rise, yes.
That's okay. That's what I thought.
Will it tie in? What do you think?
I want to think so. I wonder if Bruce Campbell's going to make a cameo. He may not. But unless this is a prequel, because Evil Dead Rise, it kind of gives me the sense it might be a prequel.
It takes place in a high rise. That's why it's called Rise. It's in the city.
Oh, it's in the city.
That's why it's Rise, because they're in a high rise.
It's. I mean, it'd be cool if they had like little Easter eggs, or they had like little. They have references here and there. That would be awesome.
I'm sure they will.
Like, you know, if they make it in world canon, that'd be great. I want to be hopeful if they do, but they may not. They may make it its own.
So you don't think it will?
With everything being.
Yeah.
Huh? But if they make everything, they've been making like everything kind of tie in together, which is kind of great. Its own universes and universes. I think they will, if they're smart.
Okay. Frey.
Yes.
There you go. Have you watched any of these?
I haven't seen the new ones.
Okay.
I've only seen the classic ones.
So do you think Pizza Papa will get paid in this movie?
Yeah. Well, Pizza Papa always gets paid. So
Pizza Papa.
All right. Force. Will it tie in? And do you care?
I do care, but I have to take a pass because it's another one of those things that I'm not educated on. So I just want to see it.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, I will be as quick as possible so we can get into the main segment for today. I am hopeful that it will tie in. There's so many rumors, there's so many inklings of everything out there. Bruce Campbell has retired from playing the live action Ash Williams. Are they planning a animated TV show? Yes. Are they planning to add stuff to the games? Yes. Are they planning to do this whole universe? I am really, really hopeful for it. So while I know Lee has said, the director, that in Army of Darkness there are 3 books there, and they're saying that Fede Alvarez took one, Sam Raimi has one, and now he has the other. So I am hopeful that it will be there. I'm hopeful that Bruce Campbell will return, maybe not full-fledged as Ash. I'd like to see him become the cantankerous older man who now just helps the next people defeat the Deadites, and fails because that's what he does, and they eventually die off. So
that's awesome. I want to see that.
Yes. So I don't think it will as much as I'd love it to, because my unbiased opinion of Evil Dead, right? Because I don't love it or anything like that. I hope it does. No, not at all. Not at all. I hope it does really well. I hope we don't have to wait another 10 years for a movie. I want more in this universe. That's it. That's what I'm hopeful for. I'll know in 24 days. Or 20 days, and then 2 days after that I'm meeting Bruce Campbell, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm excited for you. I'm
Thank
excited.
You.
I'm so excited.
That's
for
gonna
you.
be
Glad to
fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, the last main segment, we're going to turn this over to the one and only Frey Girl. You have the Nerd Out segment today. What you got for us?
Okay, so I'm nerding out about Secret Invasion, but it's also a theory that I have about Secret Invasion. So we're gonna
Frey theory.
Frey theory. All right, so this week, Kevin smiled upon us with a series premiere date for Secret Invasion, June 21st of 2023. So what are we gonna see? We know there's going to be Skrulls, a whole lot of Skrulls. We're going to get a Nick Fury, right? We're going to get a Maria Hill, Talos, his daughter, Gia, I think is what.
Gaia?
Yes, something like that. It's spelled G apostrophe I A H.
Okay. Got
yeah. And she's going to be played by Emilia Clarke. We found out. So, but I'm trying to see, like, who else are we going to see? Like, what do you think? So this is my prediction. What if this invasion isn't only the Skrulls infiltrating, but what if it's the return of Professor X and his merry band of mutants through the Shi'ar Empire?
So you're thinking that they have been in space this entire time? I think you got Forz's attention there.
Yeah, definitely. I told him he was gonna like this one. All right, so here's my thing. It's in 3 parts, so bear with me. All right, so we're gonna go to space. Specifically, we're gonna go to the Shi'ar Empire, right? Okay. And they and their empress Liliandra Niramani. They're closely associated with the Skrulls and the Kree. In the Dark Phoenix saga, they actually, all 3 of them decided what they were going to do with the Phoenix, the Phoenix Force. So my prediction, this would take place after the Dark Phoenix saga. And if you guys want to read the whole, read that storyline, it's actually in the Uncanny X-Men comic book series, issues 129 to 138. Just to let you know, it's a great saga. It's one of my favorites. It's also collected, so you can get it if you just want it in graphic novel form.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I think this is how we're going to get them back. So we bypass the Dark Phoenix saga, right? Because it hasn't worked in any of the movies so far.
No.
So we just bypass that. You've got Professor Xavier. You've got the X-Men with the Shi'ar. They just finished this. They're trying to make their way back to Earth anyway. Liliandra's intelligence service gets her intercepts a message from the Skrulls that there you go, that they're activating the sleeper cells on Earth and they're starting their invasion. Well, this puts urgency for Professor X and the X-Men, or his merry band of mutants, to get them back to Earth. It's
his first class.
Right, yeah. So then you've got them going, okay, we got to do this. You got Shi'ar. We introduced the Shi'ar. We've got our core X people. What do you guys think? Who do you want to see if this really happens?
I mean, I want to see Mojo.
Right. Well, this gets us one step closer to Mojo.
Yes.
It's like, do they make it in time? And then when they get there, who are they going to trust? Because they know
anyone can be a
there's
Skrull.
Skrulls everywhere. Yeah. So it's like, and then,
It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's
anyone can be one.
Yeah. So it's like, first of all, do you think that this is a good theory?
All right. So I think for phrase fortunes, we're going to do craziest or phraziest.
Craziest. There you go.
Craziest is no, can't happen. Phraziest is she's spot on. So
all right, chat. You should you should join in on us. Captain's orders.
So, Captain, phraziest or craziest?
I think it's a really good theory. I don't think that it's. I mean, they've kind of already started kind of getting the X-Men into the fold here. So if they were gonna do a really good way of putting them in, I mean, I don't think they're that creative or intelligent. But I really I would like to hope. So I'm gonna say it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
So okayest.
So maybeist.
Maybe.
Yes.
I like maybeist.
There you go.
Also, Morgan says hello.
Forrest, I know what your hopes are, but what do you think about
Really?
this?
Tell me what my hopes are. Phraziest, definitely the phraziest. I'm down, and I love the body snatcher idea.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about the secret invasion things. Like you can't trust no one.
So
I'm just curious how are we going to keep what's happening from being overpowered by the whole Phoenix thing, because it's been established in the Marvel universe that you have some galactic dominance. It's like right up there with Galactus and the Phoenix and Thanos and Dormammu.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
I mean, so how do you I love your theory. Just how do you keep the Phoenix from overshadowing what's going on? How do you keep the super nerds from walking out of the theater and going, that's just stupid because the Phoenix should just wipe them out?
Well, the Phoenix is dead. This is after the Dark Phoenix saga. Jean has sacrificed herself for her friends. This is like they just bypass that whole thing. There is no more Jean Grey.
So we're going. Would you put
after that?
Would you put this before Madeline Pryor though?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's right after. Yeah. It's like right after. And I'm thinking this would be like they get there at the end of Secret Invasion. Like they find like they've had other stuff going on and they just get there. And this is how we get, you just hear that
it would work.
And
I mean so you mean it would just be like, madness, into multiverse of madness, which is that little banana.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the X-Men 97. And
I think it would work because when they lost Jean, the X-Men were weak. They were distraught. The morale was completely shot. Scott was useless.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why he basically died in X-Men 3. I mean,
well, and it also
useless.
It gives an excuse for Wolverine not to be in it because he's going to be totally shattered. You don't have to have Scott in there. So, you don't really have your two big heavy hitters, but you can have like a Storm appearance. You can have
Storm
like Colossus.
Struggling to lead would be perfect.
Yeah. So I just think that having them come back and they're like, no, we got to get this done. And it's like they get there just in time, or it's an end credit scene and something. You just see them. So you don't even know this whole backstory yet, that there's no Phoenix or anything like that. I mean, I just think I think it could happen, and we don't have the Shi'ar. I mean, we've had the Skrulls and we have the Kree, and there's no Shi'ar yet. And it's just not fair. So,
right.
Not fair.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this is the phrasiest because I love the X-Men to no end as well. I'd love for it to be there, but like a lot of people, I think we're gonna get the sprinklings of the X-Men, and to Forrest's question of how do we get past the Phoenix saga. I don't think it'll have already happened. I think this is setting up for Phase 7. The Phase 7 being the mutant stuff, because
like the mutant saga, yeah,
right?
Okay.
Because we didn't understand, in Endgame, that time travel was a thing, and we laid the seeds for what this new chapter, this new phase is about time, destinies, all that stuff. So I think we're seeing the sprinkling of what comes after what's most likely going to be a soft reboot at the end of Avengers 6, 5,
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting the sprinklings now to see how people are going to react to it and start building up the hype. So as much as I want to see Mojo sooner rather than later, and Leandra and the Phoenix saga, I think it's going to come after the time phase, the timeline phase, the multiverse incursion phase as we have it.
So, I definitely have to ask the group a question in the midst of all this.
Yes.
With the Marvel Universe going where it's going, because now we're talking dimensional, we're talking time. We've already had a full saga of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we've got we've had like small invasions like Avengers, Endgame, and Captain Marvel. So is the Marvel Universe ready to go 100% cosmic? Are we ready to get off of Earth and go cosmic with this universe, or do we still have some housekeeping to do before we start venturing way out into space and start dealing with all of the galactic cosmic things that Marvel has to offer, where we start seeing real threats? We start seeing the Silver Surfer, we start seeing Galactus, we start seeing the Shi'ar Empire, the Brood, Apocalypse in his freaking ship. Like, are we ready to go cosmic, or do we have some planetary housekeeping to do still?
Okay, I'm gonna go first on this one. I'm saying they already had that plan because James Gunn was going to lead it. They already had those plans in place. James Gunn was going to be in charge of the cosmic side before the whole fallout happened. So I think because they had laid the groundwork for that, they're going to continue with it. Yeah. I think we'll start seeing Avengers team cosmic, West Coast, New York, more so, and it only be huge end of phase Avengers that will have everyone come together.
And most importantly, Asteroid M.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I don't. Captain, do you have anything to say? We'll get to Frey at the end here to close this up.
I'm in my captain's chair.
Yes.
They failed remarkably with the last time they tried the Silver Surfer saga, because they didn't make it a saga. They just made one movie, and it's not great.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't great. It was just it was if they laid the groundwork for it, sure. I think that would be. I do think there's still some housekeeping to go, because you still don't have the X-Men. I mean, you've had smatterings here and there, but you have not still had like the X-Men into the fold of the Marvel Universe. It's not been addressed. It's not been talked about with any of these characters.
Right.
So I think it would be good to lay more of that foundation there beforehand, which is why I think, if you did Secret Invasion and you had started showing the mutants coming out of nowhere, or even just if they came out in another Avengers movie or whatever, that would lay those the groundworks for that to be able to happen. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Okay, so
I
Frey,
don't think it's there yet.
is this? Do you have more to this theory, or do you want to counter argument Mr. Ford's there?
Well, I do think the whole smattering. I do really think that that's gonna happen. There's a couple of ways it could go with it. I do believe the Shi'ar are going to be in it. I would love for that's where I went a little phrasy with it and said, hey, if the Shi'ar are going to be in it, let's go ahead and bring in Professor X, go ahead and do all of that. Now they could bring in the Shi'ar without the X-Men, or, mention them, start bringing that in. I do believe we are going to go cosmic soon. If we're still talking about all the different energies that
MTT.
the MTT, then cosmic is one of the energies. We've been dealing with the chaos. Phase 4 was really chaotic magic, chaotic energy all around. So yeah, we could also be doing that as well. So I do see us going cosmic. I think the MCU itself will always tell stories that are planetary, but I do think that they'll expand it to do more cosmic. So I want the Shi'ar to be in it. It's weird that they're not mentioning them. Mutants are not, because they are their own thing. Yeah, Lilandra is, Professor X's honey, but they were their own thing. Starjammers and all that. So it's not like there's not, you can't, I don't know. I think the Shi'ar is going to be in it. And then I just went a little, I escalated it.
Yeah.
For the X-Men, I'm like, hey, if we're going to do Shi'ar, let's just bypass the Dark Phoenix saga, especially if we're.
Hey, well, that would make sense why they weren't on Earth for the events of Endgame and other things.
If you think about it, since they're starting over, basically starting where they left off for X-Men 97, they have that out. They could say, well, all those stories from there, that all happened. That's canon. And just start where they left off. So, they could have been off planet. So you can be off planet now. It's a thing. So, So that's why I'm like, no, this would be a perfect place. And why not? Why not pack Secret Invasion with stuff? Can't get the big guns to come back, then introduce new big guns.
Yep.
Right. Also, Morgan has put his 2 cents, and he says, I don't care.
Okay. Hey there, Isaac.
Isaac.
Hey, Isaac.
Well, anything else to input before we close out Frey's Fortunes? All right. So, I want everyone listening and watching this later to comment below if you think craziest or phraziest force and what you think of Frey's Fortunes, because we have stuff going behind the scenes. We want to see how this works out too. So I'm excited for it. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, our cavers, dwellers, spelunkers, we've come to the end of the show already. Time flew by for me.
It's so fun.
It really, really did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love nerding out with you guys.
It's so much fun. I love it.
So let's go ahead and do our outros here. We start with Frey. Where can we find you?
Well, I am here every Saturday for the Nerd Out, because I nerd out all the time. I just get to do it, and it's recorded this time. And on Tuesdays, I do the download with Distance Nerding, one of our sister channels. You can catch me in the New Rockstars Discord. You can catch me in the Kyber Cave Productions Discord, and now I actually am in the Distance Nerding Discord too.
Yeah,
so I'm in all of them. But I do mod for New Rock Stars. The break room is taking a month off, so I get a month break from that. And but I am still in the Discord itself. So yeah, come say hi if you want. Come say hi on any of the Discords. You can also hit me up on Twitter. I am at Fraygirl there. So if you want to see crazy stuff that I post on Instagram, I'm at Gotham_Oracle. So yeah, that's me.
The Oracle.
Look at her.
Hi,
She's the
I'm
captain,
the
now. Where can we find you there, Captain?
You can find me on Spotify. I do have music on there, and I will eventually have music for almost all of these channels eventually. But yeah, you will find me here on Saturdays at the Horror Corner. You will also find my cat Morgan on Instagram. He has a new Instagram page. It's Morgan the Floofy Cat.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll see lots of little pictures. I will probably start doing little videos. I'm not sure yet. Depends, but definitely you'll get little pictures and captions all told from Morgan's point of view. So there's that on Instagram. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. And also here on a lot of these channels. And also coming soon will be another channel. Not channel, but another show will be coming up on this channel. That's what I meant. On this channel. The show will be coming up called The New Order.
Yes.
Which we are getting very much closer to getting out.
All right.
Awesome.
Mr. Forrest.
y'all know me by now.
If not, what's wrong with you?
Don't know me by now.
All right, so go to saberfont.com if you want to put a lightsaber font on your lightsaber that you're going to buy from kybercave.com, by the way. Go to Saberfont, get something from me, get something from my friends, Juan Sith and Harry Solo Fonts. Other than that, you will find me on Distance Nerding Tuesdays and Thursdays, assisting Phil and the James 5000 do some hosting. You can also find Graveyard there on Thursdays, and you will find me on like literally everything else in Kyber K Productions. I'm not even gonna make that. All I am gonna say is join us tomorrow for Saber Rattle. That's gonna be a good one. So may the fours be with you all, and one of us will see you soon.
Yes. All right. I'm Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly podcast. New releases every Wednesday. Find us on social media, Pod Out at Night. Make sure to check it out. On top of that, you'll find me 4 days a week here on this channel. One pre-recorded, Retro Alcove on Mondays. Make sure to check out all our other shows we have. We have 8 shows in 7 days right now. So tons of content, tons of different topics. Make sure to check it out. If you want to nerd out with us, join our Discord. We'd love to nerd out with you guys. Please, we want to hear your theories. Comment there, phrases or crazies. We're going to start their own section for it. So, yeah, and then you can find me Distance Nerding on Thursdays doing nerd brackets when we do get to them. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah, we barely did.
So,
also speaking of Retro Alcove, we have some.
Torture
we have to get to Mordor. So yeah.
So make sure to check out Saber Rattle. Next show is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific. So once again, thank you everyone for joining me. Love you all, and we'll see you next week. And don't be afraid to let your nerd out.
Nerd out, baby.